Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to all. So first of all, I would like to say thank you so much for attending our meeting for today. How's everybody doing?
For me, I'm doing very fine. Mr. Rifki, how about the others?
I'm also
doing
fine,
fine
Mr. Rizky.
also.
Yeah, thankfully, I've also been doing well. Thank you for asking, Mr. Rifki. And I also hope that everyone has been staying safe because we are currently experiencing the pandemic COVID-19 after all. So I hope everyone is staying safe and just follow the SOP and the MCMOS as greatly as possible. And yeah, I hope everyone can just continue doing their normal daily work life just as we have been doing so previously in the few years.
Yes, we all hope that so. Thank you, Miss Azulina. So it's wonderful to hear everyone is doing fine. So I believe I have sent a memo a week before this, and in that memo we have the agendas for today's meeting. And I'm assuming that all of you have read through the agendas.
Yes, I have read through the agendas.
Okay, thank you so much. So without further ado, so let's just start our meeting for today. So first comes the agenda. The first agenda would be the progress report of the project. So I would like to hear a progress report on each department on our project, the Blue Ladder project so far. So can we start with the advertisement department? Miss Mawada, would you like to share us?
Okay, for our marketing performance, as usual, it is very encouraging, but we would like to implement some steps and provide some suggestions so that the performance of our company can be improved.
Okay, that's quite nice to hear and suggestion. I'm sorry, but you said suggestion on something. Would you mind repeat that?
Yes, suggestion. Uh, we have planned to check out our competitors, plan our organic marketing strategy, and invest in paid advertising. So yeah.
Oh, in paid advertising. Okay. So talking about paid advertising, may I have our finance department, Miss Glinda, what's your opinion on this one, on the paid advertisement that Miss Mawada suggested?
On the paid advertisement that Ms. Mawada has suggested just now, I think for looking at the budget, it will be fine because it will take a little bit out of the budget, but I assure everybody that it is not over the budget, so we can still manage.
Okay, so meaning that this investment in the paid marketing was not on the plan before, is it, Miss Glenda?
Can you please repeat the sentence, Mr.
Oh,
Rifki?
okay. Sorry for that. What I meant to say is that the investment paid marketing, what Ms. Mawada suggested, was not in the original plan of your budget plan, is it?
Yes.
Okay, so we will look on that matter, and I believe I will handle it to you to look on that matters in details, and we can discuss that later on. Okay, so thank you for that, Ms. Mawada, on the advertising department, the marketing department. Before we move to the next department, anyone want to comment on what Ms. Mawada have presented just now? Any comment? Okay, so I assume there's no. Okay, thank you so much. So next we can move on to the next department, which is Ms. Glenda. What about the finance department? How are we so far with the finance?
So far with the finance of our company, the budget has been well used. It also has been quite enough for all our projects, and I think I can still handle. I can still leave the task to my team, and we have been counting all the finances. And soon I will present the finances, maybe in our next meeting, because we have not wrapped up the counting process.
Okay, so I believe you will work on further in details with the finance project, the finance
Yes,
department
exactly.
team with your team, right?
Yes.
Okay, and also to include on what Ms. Mawada suggests on the investment in the paid marketing.
Okay, noted.
You would include that. Okay, thank you so much. So before we move to the next department, anybody would like to give a comment, any suggestion to the finance team? Okay, so I believe that's a no, so good. So now we're moving on to Miss Azlina. Can we hear your report?
Yes, of course, Mr. CEO. For the project team, I have been overseeing the construction site, and I have expected that the area should be suitable enough for us to continue within our plan for the construction. And I will be also making sure that the construction, the duration of time taken to complete the construction site will be within our expected time. So without much, we should be able to proceed with our plan so far. And also, I have discussed and meet up with the workers that will be involved in the construction, the staff as well. And I have discovered that we have a few potential workers with really great experiences. There are some with years of experiences working in the construction field, so we won't have any problem with that either. I have also taken into consideration into looking after different locations for our construction sites. In case of any further complication were to arise, then we can move to a different location instead. So I've also taken that into consideration. Uh, but for the project, I would like to add that to before we can continue for our construction plan, I am suggesting for our safety measurements, especially since we are currently dealing with the pandemic, right? I am suggesting that we should create a sanitation area for the workers, especially those who will be going in and out of the site, will have the best protection provided for the workers and also the company. So I hope that the finance will be able to look into that since the need to add for the safety equipment and hygienic equipment for sanitation context will take probably, I guess, a quarter of the budget. But so far, if we are able to implement that, then our project should continue without much problems at all. So yeah, that is my report from the project team.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Azlina. So according to what I understand, everything so far is according to plan. Our project is on the right track right now. And
Yes.
you mentioned about sanitation and equipment. So we will go back to that um, in the uprising in the next agenda. So right now, before we move to the last department, so anybody want to comment on Miss Azlina and her team? Okay, so I assume there's no. Okay, so thank you, Miss Azlina, for your report. your report. So now we will hear the last report from Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris, how's your and your department doing?
I have been overseeing the daily operations of my department, and I have been evaluating the performance and productivity of each employee. And I think there is a lot of improvement from the workers, and it is going well. However, there are some issues that I would like to address later.
Yes, please carry on.
The issue that I'm facing currently are a lot of the newer workers are feeling a little demotivated because of the environment of our construction sites. And I am currently taking...
Oh, I see.
Yes. Currently, I am trying to develop and implement growth strategies for the improvement of our new workers.
Oh, okay, I see. Any more on your report, on your team, Mr. Chris?
That is all for now.
Okay, so basically you have a problem with your department, which is the unmotivated workers.
Yes.
So anybody would like to comment on that?
Rather than commenting, I would like to give a suggestion to Mr. Chris on the demotivation of the members of his team. So in my team, I have this system, this reward system, where I implement this. The best worker shall get rewards. It's either in cash or in material, and it is an initiative that I have thought for my team, and I have also I used my own funds for the team. It might be sort of a stretch, but this is what I do to keep my team motivated. And other than that, I also create a bond with them, such as going to other places going to other places than only keeping strictly professional bond with them. So I still manage to make them work harder, and I think this will be quite useful. This method will be quite useful for Mr. Chris to use, because when the workers get rewards, they will feel more motivated because they will want the rewards.
That is definitely a brilliant idea. I will try and implement the strategy as soon as possible. Thank you, Ms. Glinda.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, thank you for that, Miss Glinda and Mr. Chris. I hope you take Miss Glinda's suggestion and try to implement and to boost the morale of your workers. So thank you for your report. On to the next agenda. Okay, so the next agenda would be...
Turkey. I would like to also propose an alternative for the issue of the demotivation of the workers.
Okay, please do, Ms. Azri.
I absolutely agree with Glinda's proposal, but I also feel like there is an alternative method to fight and get over the problem of demotivation among workers. Other than providing initiatives, which is a great solution, we can also provide them with recognition make it either weekly or monthly recognition within the company, where there will be given a title or will be shared throughout the whole company among which team had been doing their best for this month, and with that they will also be getting the recognition in the company, which can be added into their recommendation letter later on when they have chosen to go for another company. So you can add that also in their referral letter. So this will be a motivation selling point for them, because this way they will feel more motivated to continue doing great in their work and giving good performances, because it will also get them have a chance of getting a great recommendation in other companies who are willing and are looking for their skills and experience.
Okay, thank you so much for that suggestion, Miss Glinda, and I hope, Mr. Chris, you can note it whatever Miss Azzi, I'm sorry, pardon me, Miss Azzi. Okay, I hope Mr. Chris can note whatever Miss Azzi has suggest. Okay, Mr. Chris.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Azzi, for that brilliant suggestion, and I will implement it on my division as soon as possible. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Miss Azzi and Mr. Chris. So before we move on to the next agenda, any more suggestion or comment?
I suppose there are no more suggestions or comments.
Okay then, so we move on to the next agenda. So the next agenda would be the uprising problems. So other than Mr. Chris' department, which is the demotivated workers, so any more problems from other departments? So I believe no, except for the demotivated workers.
Yes, Mr.
So far, everything is good in my department. So I think, what about the others, Miss Mawada or Miss Azilina?
I believe that the only other problem is that we have to be mindful about having a hygienic environment for our workers, and also for the sake of the company's reputation, in order for us to gain client retention. So that's the only other issue that I have been able to identify so far, which is we have to provide the proper sanitation tool and equipment as soon as possible.
Okay.
For me, I hope we can implement all our plans successfully. That's all.
So meaning that so far in your department, Miss Mawada, there's no big problem, or there's no problem at all.
Yeah, we have a good achievement, but we still want to improve, because we are not really satisfied with the result. So we want more. That's why we have suggested before.
Okay, I see. So that's very good attitude to have. So I will leave that to you and your team, Miss Mawada. Okay, on that. Okay, so looks like there are no more problems. So can we move on to the next agenda? Okay, so the next agenda would be the other matters. So let's talk about what Miss Azlina have mentioned this about the sanitizing. So my biggest concern would be the budget for that. What's your opinion on that, Miss Glinda?
Okay, as for the sanitation of the area, Actually, I have planned in including the sanitation fees and everything in our budget because it is uh, this situation, the situation that we are facing right now is a worldwide pandemic, and we do not want any of our workers to be infected. So I think the the budget will be not that it this thing will not take a lot out of our budget. It will take maybe about a quarter or less, and that will be quite okay for our budget.
Okay, I see. So it will affect our budget, but not so much. Is it true?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so done with the sanitizing problem. So others, do you have any more things, matters to bring up to this meeting today?
I would like to bring something about the protecting the safety of our workers. I was thinking of making implementing every worker has to wear a mask on site, but I'm afraid
Okay.
it will cause a lot of discomfort to, especially to workers that has high labor work, as it will affect their breathing or cause discomfort.
Okay, I see the point there, but it's also a problem because of this pandemic that we are doing right now, we are going through right now. It must be a requirement for us to wear a mask. So I think, yeah. So can I get opinion on this? Any from anyone else? What are your opinion on this mask implementation to the
Okay.
workers?
So for the implementation of wearing masks on site for all of the workers, I highly support this suggestion because, yeah, once again, I would like to emphasize that we are going through a global pandemic. And um, as for the budget, once again, it will not take a lot out of the budget. Surely it will affect only small parts of the budget, but uh, once again, we can still manage. We can afford a little bit of overspending so we can protect our workers, I suppose.
Okay, so that does it. So um, like it or not, we have to implement the mask. Okay, Mr. Chris, I hope you will discuss with your other workers and your fellow teammate about this matters.
Very well, Mr. Ricky.
Okay, thank you for that. Any other problems, other matters would like to bring to this meeting?
So far, the progress and the recommendations that and the issues that we have discussed is really at a really good place, at a really good start for now. Yeah. So I don't think so.
Okay, Miss Aziz. So I believe that's all for the other matters, which is the sanitizing and the mask, the equipment, and all of that will greatly will somehow will affect with the budget of the team, the finance of the team, which will Miss Glinda will look upon this matter and present it in the next meeting with further details. So now, so that's all for the matters pertaining to this meeting. So can we move on to the next agenda? Okay, so the next agenda would be recommendation. So feel free to suggest any recommendation that you have for the uprising matters, the problem that we face. Anyone? Uh, How about the finance? Do we have any recommendation on that? Because it will not greatly affect the finance, but let's say if we have over budget, so do we have any plan B for that?
A plan B, I suppose I have not planned, but I will brainstorm this quickly with my team. And I assure that in the next meeting, I will bring a recommendation for in case if we uh, go over our budget.
Okay, so I will leave that to you and your team to further discuss the details of all the issues that we said in this meeting today for the budget. And any more else? Anyone would like to say anything for the
Yeah,
recommendation?
Sir Ricky, I was thinking of raising the monthly salary of my workers to better increase their morality and performance. But I would
Okay,
have to
interesting.
ask about that to Miss Glinda if that is okay or not.
Okay, yes. Increasing the salary, it would be a motivator for them. But yes, we have to uh, discuss this with the department, finance department. So, Miss Glinda, can we have your opinion on this?
Increasing the salary of the workers will be okay, but we have to increase not only one department's salary, but also the salary of other departments, I suppose, to ensure equality of salary, equality of the amount of salary that all the workers get. So once again, I will look upon this matter more in a more detailed way, and yeah.
Okay, so I will leave that to I will leave that to you and your team, Ms. Linda, to do a full report on these matters that we have bring up today in this meeting. So, any more recommendation? Okay, so
I
I
would
believe
like to
that's done.
ask. I would
Yes,
like
Mr.
to add
Chris,
something.
please.
If my problems at my division about my workers not improving on their performance, I would like to ask if it is okay of letting the workers that does not have any improvement go.
Oh, I see. Wow, that's a big problem facing. That's a good, well, yes, Miss Glinda.
Excuse me, Mr. Chris, as in firing them?
Yes, definitely firing the non improving one and rehiring maybe new maybe better employees or something like that.
I see. Okay. So firing the non-motivated, the non-improving workers, that's a big thing to discuss about. So may I have opinions from the others on this? How about with firing the non-motivators? What do you think about that?
For me, it's quite harsh, but
Okay.
I suppose there are pros and cons to firing the unmotivated workers, but I will have to hear the opinions of others, such as Miss Azi or Miss Mawada.
In my opinion, the act of firing workers, especially those who are demotivated and have been showing bad or low performances, especially to the company, I believe that the decision to let them go is the best decision so far because we would, it, if it was possible, we would like to avoid slowing down our construction progress any much longer. And by letting these unmotivated workers to stay but not perform well for the company, This will also affect our image and also our reputation in gaining the client retention that we are looking for. So I believe that this decision is a must. So we definitely should take it into consideration.
I am also
Okay,
agree
thank you,
because
Miss.
um, I think there are still so many competitive workers out there looking for work. So it is better for us to give this opportunity for them, and this will give benefits for us rather than just keep the unmotivated workers with us. That's my
Okay,
opinion.
I see. Okay, I see. Thank you for that. That's a good point, actually, Miss Azi and Miss Mawada. Yes. So basically, we just try to motivate them first, and the last resort would be firing them. Okay, Mr. Chris?
Yes, thank you for everyone's opinion. I definitely appreciate it all. Thank you.
Okay, so any more recommendation? Okay, so I think that's all for today's, and moving on to the next agenda. For the next meeting, we will proceed on mostly on the finance team, on what have we discussed today, to see the full report on Miss Glinda and her team on that. So the next meeting, will be on 1st of July, 4 weeks from now. Is it okay for everyone?
That will be okay.
Yes, also okay for me.
According to my calendar, yes, I'm free on that day.
Yes, I do have a free schedule on that day, so yeah, no problem, Mr. Rico.
Okay, thank you so much for that. A week before the meeting, I will prepare the memo and hand it out to all of you beforehand. So I think that's all for the meeting today. I'll see you in the next meeting on the further progress on our Loop Ladder project. So thank you so much for attending this meeting. Have a nice day, everyone.
Have a nice day and you're welcome.